next year, and then 2 teams go from there to Spain. Graham, we've talked about how important this game is. We're seconds away from the opening kickoff.
And the players said it in the pre-game interview, just exactly what should be said. They know what they've got to do. They know they've got to win this game, and I expect them to take the game to the U.S., although the U.S. have a strong wind at their back.
The U.S. are in their red shirts, red shorts, and red stockings with the white trim, and quickly we'll give you the American lineup. Arnie Mauser is in goal. In the back four, it's number 12, Tony Crudo, number 4, Steve Petcher, number 5, Ty Keogh, and number 3, Greg Mikowski. Ringo Cantillo, number 9, number 8 is Angelo Di Bernardo, number 20 is Boris Bandoff. The front runners are Ricky Davis, number 7, number 18, Diego Peza, and number 11 is Mark Liverich. The Canadian lineup looks like this. Tino Lettieri, who has started the first 2 games for Canada, is back in goal this afternoon. Bob Balaito, Bob Iarusci, and Bob Lenarduzzi are the central defenders. John McGrain is the sweeper. As the Americans come to the attack right off the bat, inside the Canadian box, and is knocked back by number 5, Bob Lenarduzzi, to Tino Lettieri. As you saw in the opening, Tino was nothing short of spectacular against the United States last week in Fort Lauderdale. Canada in the white with the red numeral. That's Wes McLeod, who plays for the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the NASL. BC native, playing in front of his home fans this afternoon. Gino Stranicher, number 8 for Canada, knocks it into touch.
The American team has made 2 changes from the team that played in Fort Lauderdale. They've brought in Tony Crudo, a big, strong defenseman, and they've brought in Diego Peza as a front runner. So they've strengthened the back and the front, and they are obviously coming here to win, too. They don't want to go into the games against Mexico needing the points that a loss here would make them win.
There's the cross well into the 6-yard box. Tino Lettieri coming well out to take it. Lettieri rolls it for the Canadian captain, Robert Iarusci. Iarusci back to Lettieri. This is Bob Balaito now, number 15. Balaito did not play in the first game against the United States with a hamstring pull. This is McGrain for Canada. McGrain for Balaito, overlapping on the right side. It's intercepted there by Boris Bandoff, number 20. He comes up with a bad pass. Iarusci picks it off. Gino Stranicher now. Stranicher for Balaito. This is young Jerry Gray, member of the Vancouver Whitecaps. He's familiar with this artificial surface here at Empire Stadium. Ball goes into touch, throw into Canada. Dale Mitchell, number 20, gives it to Jerry Gray. Mike Stoyanovich, who has the only goal so far in the series for Canada. That coming against Mexico a couple of weeks ago at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Corner kick for the Canadians, the first of the match. Jerry Gray to take it. These corner kicks always dangerous. Let's see whether Gray swings it in or out. Goes for the far post, looking for the head of somebody, but there was nobody there to knock it down. Play is blown down by Mr. Mendez, and a free kick awarded to the Americans. We've got 41 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the opening half here at Empire Stadium. No score. Canada in white against the United States in red. Iarusci. Jerry Gray. Gray just knocks the ball into space, looking for Stoyanovich, hoping he could run onto it. This is Mark Liverich for the Americans, number 11. Gino Stranicher. Stranicher for Bob Lenarduzzi. Lenarduzzi with space on the left side. In the middle to Wes McLeod. McLeod. Back to Stranicher. Stranicher for Bob Balaito. Balaito just flicks it forward, and McLeod perhaps could have run into space there, but didn't. Throw into the Americans.
Well, Wes McLeod made up for a bad mistake there. He started to run, changed his mind, will either give him the ball, but give Wes credit. He challenged, almost won the ball back, and you can see the Canadian team are starting off with much more aggression in this game.
This is Stoyanovich for McLeod. He's got space in front of him. It's the shot away into the arms of Arnie Mauser. Mauser should be familiar with this artificial turf here at Empire Stadium. He played for the Vancouver Whitecaps for one season.
Canada have made an interesting change, too. They brought in Bruce Miller to add a little bit of strength up front in place of Dale Mitchell, and Bruce Miller and Branko Segota play well together. This could well be to Canada's advantage.
Canada and the U.S. have met a total of 16 times since 1885 internationally. Canada has won 7, they've lost 6, and there have been 3 ties. Incidentally, in 1885, Canada won that first game 1-0. I don't think they had artificial surfaces back in 1885.
No, I don't think so.
There's a look at Steve Hatcher, the American captain, number 4. All of the players on the pitch this afternoon play in the North American Soccer League, so many are familiar with each other's styles. Here's a free kick, and it's cleared by Bob Lenarduzzi to Jerry Gray, back to Bob Palito. Palito, back to Tino Lettieri. This is Iarushi coming forward. Canada for Bob Lenarduzzi. Lenarduzzi, a little bit of space in front of him for Segota, and Segota is bowled over from behind by the American defender. Free kick awarded to Canada, coming from about the 30-yard line. In case you're wondering about the markings for Canadian football, we have a big Western Junior final here at Empire Stadium tonight between the Vancouver Marilomas and the Regina Rams, so they've been forced to leave the markings on.
Well, there's no doubt that this is a foul against Segota, but I think the wet turf just helped a little bit in it.
Ty Keogh battling and losing the battle against Wes McLeod. McLeod tries to get the cross away, and it goes off the American defender, so we'll have a second corner kick for Canada.
And Canada doing the right thing here. They're putting pressure on the States before they get time to settle, and if they could get an early goal, then it's a big advantage to them.
Jerry Gray to take it. He takes all the corner kicks for the Vancouver Whitecaps, so no problem on this surface. Dangerous ball. Stoyanovich goes up and heads it over the crossbar.
Well, that shows the advantage of the short kick. Mauser's height of no advantage when the ball's played to the near post, as we see here. Mauser cannot get to that ball. It's flicked on, and Stoyanovich he was actually over the crossbar before he headed it, and the challenge made it impossible for him to get the ball down, but a great chance, and it shows the advantage of playing a short corner when there's a goalkeeper with Mauser's ability in the air.
Jerry Gray smoothly back to Palito. Palito looking for Stoyanovich, the target man up front. Jerry Gray can't control, loses it to Mark Liverich. Liverich for the Americans. In the middle for Diego Peza. Oh, nice give and go there by the Americans, but Canada come up with it. Strenicher for Stoyanovich. Stoyanovich turns his man around. He's got control of the ball and loses it to Ty Keogh. And Keogh just knocks it into touch. Palito. Throw into Iarushi. There's Stoyanovich, the big target man for Canada up front. Iarushi. Looking for Stoyanovich again. Headed away by the American defender. Flicked on by DiBernardo. McGrain. Liverich winning that battle in the air. Americans coming forward. There's a good ball. McGrain back covering. The Americans come up with it just outside the Canadian 18-yard box. DiBernardo for Boris Bandov. Bandov. Here comes the cross. Far post. Looking for a head. Nobody there. And it'll go into touch. No, it doesn't. Wes McLeod gets to it. Plays it forward for Gino Strenicher. Strenicher in the middle to Iarushi. Iarushi. Long ball and sending that for Palito. Americans coming forward inside the Canadian zone now. This is Makowski. Oh, a good tackle there by Iarushi. Iarushi for Wes McLeod. McLeod back in the middle. Iarushi. Beats one man. For McLeod on the left side. There's the cross off the leg of DiBernardo.
Good play by Bob Iarushi there. He came from his deep defensive role and took advantage of the space and moved forward and put pressure on the American defense.
Play blown down there by referee Mendez. And a free kick awarded to Canada coming from the 25-yard line. One of the advantages of having the pitch line for football. There's a good ball onto the head of Bruce Miller. Babalito for Jerry Gray. Gray can't get to it. And again, knocked into touch by the Americans. Graham, this is reminiscent of what happened in the first game where the U.S. dominated. Now it's Canada dominating in the first half. There's the cross into the middle and cleared by the Americans.
Well, the home team has to take the initiative, and Canada's doing the right thing in putting pressure on. In Florida, we saw the States put pressure as they were the home team, and we can expect this sort of thing for quite a while till the game settles down a little bit and gets into a pattern.
In case you just joined us, I'm Steve Armitage along with Graham Leggett. We're live from Empire Stadium. This is World Cup qualifying action. There's a shot from Stojanovic, and it goes over the bar and well onto the track here at Empire Stadium. There's Gino Strenicher, who is a workhorse in midfield for Canada. Very talented young soccer player. One of the older members of the Canadian team at 34. Plays for the Rochester Lancers in the North American Soccer League. Arnie Mauser. We've got 33 minutes and 45 seconds remaining to play in the opening half here at Empire Stadium. Still no score. Good flick on there by DiBernardo, looking for Ricky Davis, number 7. Davis going into the corner with Babalito, and the linesman awarding a goal kick to Canada.
There we saw the effect of that strong wind that's at the back of the United States team. That ball just kept running away from Ricky Davis, but good challenge, and he almost got it back from Bobby Lanaduzzi.
In the last qualifying round a couple of years ago, here at Empire Stadium, Canada and the United States battled to a 1-1 tie, and then down in Seattle, the U.S. beat Canada 2-0. So the U.S. took 3 of a possible 4 points from Canada in qualifying. Of course, Canada would like to reverse that this time around and hand the U.S. a defeat and pick up the all-important 2 points. Canada already has 2 points from 2 ties, which would give them a total of 4, of course, which would put them in the driver's seat in terms of going through the second round. McGrain for Jerry Gray. Gray can't get to it. Liverich was there. Back to Iarusci. Gino Strenicher. Strenicher, good ball into Wes McLeod on the left side. And a good defensive effort there by DiBernardo. So with 32 minutes remaining to play in the first half here at Empire Stadium, we're still looking for our first goal. We're back live at Empire Stadium in Vancouver. World Cup soccer action. The United States in red against Canada in white. No score, and we've got about 31 minutes to play in the opening half.
And another free kick call by referee Molina Mendez from Guatemala. As soon as the studs comes up, he gets the whistle in his mouth, and you can hear him blowing it now. These South American referees don't like to see the studs come up at all.
Knocked into the top of the box. Drain was there. Bob Lenarduzzi covering up for Tino Lettieri.
I think it's interesting to see that the United States team are crossing high balls or attempting to cross high balls in. They obviously feel that they can take advantage of Lettieri.
Good pass there from Wes McLeod to Bob Lenarduzzi, working on the far side. Now back to Wes McLeod. Into the middle for Branko Segota. Back to Jerry Gray. Canada doing a lot of one-touches here. Very effective. There's the cross from Lenarduzzi. It's low, but Lenarduzzi gets it back. Tries to put the cross through again. Segota with it. Segota back to Gino Strenicher, and Jerry Gray missed it. The Americans come up with it. Boris Bandoff, number 20. Iarusci takes it off of him, brings it forward once again for Canada. Iarusci turns. Babalito is there, and the linesman's flag goes up, indicating offside, but play goes on.
I got to give full credit to referee Molina Mendez there. He played on because he knew that the linesman had made a mistake, and he's the sole decision maker.
Babalito. Good cross, far post, looking for the head of Bruce Miller. Miller flicks it back into the middle, but there were no white shirts there to do anything with it. Wes McLeod. In the middle for Stojanovic. Segota. Stranicher loses it there. Americans come away with a good ball down the side there for Ricky Davis. Davis has help in the middle. Oh, a fine play there by Bob Lenarduzzi. Mark Liverich for Boris Bandoff. Bandoff being watched by Bob Balifo. And a fine play there by Jerry Gray. Back to Tino Lettieri.
Well, we saw something there that the Canadian team has to be very aware of, that if they keep pressing forward and bringing men forward, they do tend to leave themselves open at the back, and had Davis got past Lenarduzzi there, they could have been in trouble. So they've got to attack by all means, but they've got to make sure they get men back quickly to cover.
Jerry Gray for Bruce Miller. Miller can't control it, but Canada gets the throw in deep inside the American zone. Now the referee overrules that and awards a free kick. Ty Keel back to Arnie Mauser. There are 3 games left in this home-and-home series. U.S. versus Mexico. That's November the 9th at Azteca Stadium. And then, of course, Canada plays Mexico in Mexico City on the 16th of November.
Well, you know, this is a case of who gets whose legs mixed up with whom, because both players were going for the ball, obviously looking at the ball, didn't see each other, but the referee gave a free kick to Canada.
And to complete that schedule, November 23rd, the U.S. is in Mexico City to play the Mexicans at Azteca Stadium. So 3 games remaining. Canada, of course, this is their 3rd game. Wes McLeod.
Speaking about the tightness of these games, Steve, we could have the very unusual situation of every game being tied. Then we start all over again.
Big Mike Stojanovic for Jerry Gray. Gray plays it outside for Bob Lenarduzzi. Back into Gray on the give and go now. Lenarduzzi. Here's the cross. It's low off the leg of DiBernardo. Americans come up with it. Ricky Davis. DiBernardo. Back to Davis. Davis, who plays for the New York Cosmos, chips it in through the middle. And Wes McLeod comes up with it for Canada. He's got a ton of space in front of him. If he can make some use of it. Gino Stranicher in behind him. This is Stojanovic. Back to McLeod. Franco Segota running onto it. And it's headed back by Greg Mikowski all the way back to Arnie Mauser. A bit of a dangerous move there. Stojanovic was looking closely by.
Well, there were oohs and ahs from the crowd, but it was a good ball back to the goalkeeper. Under pressure, it's best to play the safe ball.
26 minutes remaining in the opening half. Still no score. Canada in white against the United States in red. Wes McLeod losing it. Jerry Gray for Bruce Miller. And a good sliding tackle there by Greg Mikowski. You can do that on the artificial turf here at Empire Stadium. When it's wet, when it's dry, you get a very bad burn.
Well, I don't care if it's wet or dry. It takes a lot of courage to slide on this stuff.
As we mentioned, it rained heavily overnight here, but they had their giant vacuum cleaner out here sucking up the water and blowing it away. So the field is fairly dry as you can get at this time of year in beautiful British Columbia. There's a cross into the box. Gino Stranicher for Canada maintains control. Balifo making a run on the side, and it's intercepted there. Now McGrain comes over. Oh, a bad move there. It goes off of Steve Petcher. Petcher looking for support in the middle. Iarushi comes out to watch Petcher. Petcher tries to get around Iarushi. There's the cross. Oh, a dangerous move, and it's just wide. Very close call for Canada.
I think that Ricky Davis has to be offside there. He was definitely in an offside position. A good run, and Petcher goes past Iarushi. It tries a shot, and it goes straight to Davis, but Davis had run in for the original shot and was definitely offside, but this shows how dangerous the United States can be on breakaways.
There's Bob Balifo, number 15, and Robert Iarushi, who was beaten on that last play by Petcher. Mark Liverich. trying to turn Palacio around, gets a good ball through to Ringo Cantillo, number 9 for the Americans, and Stranicher with a fine tackle. And then they get their legs tied up. Stranicher indicating that perhaps he took a knee in the chest intentionally there from Cantillo.
I think definitely that...
We'll be back with more World Cup soccer action. Well, this could be a very crucial blow for the Canadian effort. Gino Stranicher is down on the artificial turf here at Empire Stadium, obviously in a great deal of pain. Graham can only speculate at this point. It looks like a shoulder injury. Just how serious it is, we don't know.
Well, there's no doubt about it that Gino Stranicher went down very heavily on the artificial turf in a tackle with Cantillo, and I have a feeling that Cantillo may have stood on him on the way back across. They were both going for the ball, and Stranicher went in very strongly. You can see that Cantillo fell on his shoulder and could well have popped his collarbone. I hope for Canada's sake that it's not broken, because Gino's been by far the strongest player, but the ambulance is on the field now, and things don't look good at all.
Well, as you mentioned, he went down very, very heavily, and that's one of the problems, of course, of playing on the artificial surface anywhere in the world, and that is there is so very little give to the surface. And, of course, when you go down as hard as you do, as opposed to natural surf, where there's just a slight bit of give, none here.
No, this is a disadvantage, or one of the disadvantages, and the fact that Cantillo fell on top of him obviously added to the impact. If we look at it from a different angle, you got to give credit to Stranicher. He went in hard for the ball, slid tackle Cantillo, and just look now, you'll see that Cantillo, there it goes. Now watch him fall on top of him, and that's obviously where the shoulder went. But you got to give a great deal of credit to the courage of Stranicher. He went sliding in there, took the ball out of play, and it was a saving tackle.
Well, it looks as if Carmen Marcantonio will replace Gino Stranicher, and we can't overemphasize the job that Stranicher has done for the Canadian team in the 2 games thus far, because he is really the quarterback at midfield.
He certainly is. Canada has lacked a little bit of creative genius in midfield, but whatever creative activity they've had in midfield has come from Gino Stranicher.
Carmen Marcantonio, 25 years of age, 5'9", 150 pounds, plays for the Washington Diplomats in the North American Soccer League.
Well, Carmen Marcantonio is a very intelligent midfield player. He's not as strong, not as hard worker as Gino Stranicher, but he's very clever on the ball. And whereas they'll miss Stranicher, I think that in a game at home, the skill of Marcantonio may well work out to their advantage.
In case you've just joined us, I'm Steve Armitage, along with Graham Leggett, and we're live from Empire Stadium on an overcast afternoon.
Could have got a call of obstruction there, but referee right on the spot, and ruled that the ball's gone out of play before the infringement took place.
Ty Keogh will band off. Doozy. Intended that for Bruce Miller. This is Marcantonio. Marcantonio tried to beat a second man. Ball goes into touch. It'll be thrown. Marcantonio to take it. For Bruce Miller. Miller trying to turn Petcher around so he can get the cross, gets it through his leg.
Well, Steve Petch is a big, rough, tough customer. He was determined that Miller wasn't going to get past him there by hook or by crook, but this is a dangerous situation. Big Stojanovic at the far post. The Irushis come up to the far post.
Free kick for Canada. Just outside the 18-yard box. There's the cross into the middle.
Decided he couldn't get it, tried to get back in, and Irushi just leapt above everybody and stuck it right in the back of the net. Just watch for Irushi at the far post. A good dummy run, good cross. Mauser starts to come, decides to go back. Caught in no man's land, and Irushi nods it into the open open net. That's a great incentive now for Canada to keep going. Just a great goal. We said watch for Iarussi at the far post. He came up, used his height well, timed his jump perfectly. A great cross, but I have to wonder where Mauser was. If he's 6'2", why didn't he come all the way?
Well, Canada has done something they could not do in Fort Lauderdale against the United States. They have scored a goal. Remember, these two teams played to a scoreless tie just a week ago, Saturday night in Fort Lauderdale. But right now, Canada's leading 1-0 with 20 minutes and 22 seconds remaining to play in the opening half. Jerry Gray with a ball for Franco Segota. Segota almost getting by Ty Keogh. And had he been able to do that, there was a lot of space there. But Keogh, I believe, is being called on the foul. Another free kick for Canada. Jerry Gray and Carmen Marcantonio there. As we saw the last time, perhaps a dummy run off the ball, which simply means that one player will run away off the ball without kicking it, of course. Here's Gray, the dummy. Carmen Marcantonio putting it into the box. This time, Mauser makes no mistake, coming well off the line and pulling the ball down.
And really, there's no way that anybody should get that ball in the penalty box. When a goalkeeper's 6'2" and has got hands like Mauser, that property is his. Nobody should get the ball at all.
Marcantonio for Bruce Miller. Miller with the cross, looking for Stojanovic. And had that ball been just perhaps a little higher, Stojanovic might have been able to get to it. I was wondering about a psychological letdown for Canada when they lost Gino Strenicher, but it doesn't seem to be any at all. Bandoff coming forward for the United States, and it goes off the leg of Iarussi. Referee Molina Mendez indicating a goal kick for Canada.
Indicating also that the ball has to be dead before Lettieri can kick it.
Iarussi takes the goal kick. Ricky Davis. Davis off the leg of Lenarduzzi. Wes McLeod over there. Segota back to McLeod. McLeod back in the middle for Marcantonio. Marcantonio for Jerry Gray. Gray can't get to it. The Americans come away with it. This is Ringo Cantillo. Good ball through to Boris Bandoff. Bandoff running out of space on the left side. That'll be a throw into Canada.
Well, I tell you that the United States seems their heads down a little bit at the moment. If Canada just keep up this pressure and get another goal, I think they've got the game on the bag. You can see the confidence ooze from the United States team when they lost that goal, because you don't expect to give up a header against Mauser. That was a bad goal to lose.
He's so big and so strong in the air, and that's the reason why. Made a bad mistake, and it was a costly one. Ty Keogh back to Mauser. Mauser for U.S. captain Steve Petcher. Petcher, long ball and blown down on the offside.
So far, the gentleman in your picture has had an excellent game. The thing you've got to give him credit for, this game's been played at a fast pace, but he's right up with the play every minute.
We were just a little bit disappointed with the officiating last week in Fort Lauderdale. We had a crew from Costa Rica. This crew is from Guatemala. The week before in Toronto, we had an El Salvadorian crew, and they did an excellent job. Segota for Wes McLeod. Segota couldn't come away with it. Makowski does. Makowski